Pets Add Life, your guide to the latest in pet trends, products, and the joy of the human-animal bond, with Kristen Levine and Chris Bonifati, powered by the American Pet Products Association and DOGTV.
Well, Happy New Year, everybody. It is New Year's Eve, and we're coming to you with a very special episode of the Pets Add Life podcast. How are you doing, Chris? Are you excited about tonight?
Listen, I love New Year's Eve. It's one of my favorite holidays. And you know, anybody listening out there, whether you're in party mode or personal reflection mode or relaxation mode, however you choose to celebrate, I hope you're enjoying it with your loved ones and your pets. Me personally, I'm a big, meditation, personal reflection guy around this time of year, which I think we're in luck for, right, Kristen?
Yeah, you're going to love this show then. And really today's episode is all about starting the new year off on a right paw for our pets. So we've got a calm, balanced, and positive, calm, balanced, and positive theme for the show.
That's great.
Make sense of that?
Yeah, no, I'm picking up what you're putting down. And, you know, for any APA folks who may be listening to me, they know that every New Year's, I don't do like hard resolutions. What I do is I theme each year in something that I'm trying to improve upon as a person. So 2024 was the year of unrelenting optimism. And so I'm here to announce. Yeah, it worked out okay. It got a little rough at the end there. But I think at the end of the day, we stuck the landing. And I'm here to announce that 2025 will be the year of radical self-care. Radical self-care. And listen, this shows the perfect place to start because we're going to be helping you, your pets, your loved ones find peace, tranquility, and focus as we close out 2024, the year of unrelenting optimism, and we welcome 2025, the year of radical self-care.
Well, I don't know. I was just going to say I want to have more fun in 2025.
That's good too.
Yeah. I've got some bucket list stuff I want to do, and and of course that will include Tulip as well. So, all right. So we got two incredible guests today who specialize in energy work and meditation for pets. Yep, you heard that right. We are going to meditate with our pets today. Chris,
I do it all the time.
Is Tiger going to meditate with you?
Well, she's not here with me in the studio, but yeah, right, Tiger and I have our silent times together because I work from home and I'm the only person home with Tiger, and sometimes I'll lay down and she likes to just sort of put her head into my forehead, which is very nice. And it is very relaxing. Pumpkin. So I don't know if that's what we'll be experiencing, but we'll be guiding your pet and you through some energy healing exercises to help you release some stress, calm those nerves, and set intentions for this positive year ahead.
That's right. So grab a comfy spot and get your dog or your cat or both to join you, and let's begin. It's going to be a beautiful way to say goodbye to 2024 and welcome 2025 with open arms and open paws.
Let's get this year on the road.
Kristen and Chris present Storytime.
All right, my story is it's special for two reasons. First, it's a viewer submitted story. Mr. Matt from New York, thank you for sending me over this link. And second, it will be the last time we see Chris be the Science G for 2024, as we wish him a happy new year as well. So this is a really cool study that was actually done in 2020, but it's picking up press now because sometimes that's how science works. They write these articles, they get published, and nobody really sees them for a few years. But there's a professor out of Japan, Professor Miyazaki, who graduated from University of Tokyo, had a professorship at the University of Texas Southwestern, and his goal, and this is how he puts it, his goal is to double cats' lifespan, which that is an eye-catching thing, and for those of you who've had cats like I have and have had several generations of cats, you know that it's typically the kidneys. that gives out before anything else. I mean, cats will die all the time with healthy brains, healthy hearts, healthy livers, but it'll be the kidneys that give out. And listen, I'm Chris B, the science G, but I have no PhD, and I went to school for economics. So bear with me if I get some of this wrong. But luckily, Dr. Miyazaki
There's no
here,
fact checkers.
yeah,
either.
he put everything visually, which is great. You know, he has like a visual chart here that I'm looking at. So my understanding is that there is this protein called an AIM protein that our kidneys use, and in people and in the mice that he studied. As our blood goes into the kidneys, this AIM protein interacts with IgMs, which my understanding are basically these dead cells, and then break apart, and the kidneys sort of pull them apart. And that's the function of our kidneys, to sort of clean our blood, right? That's what kidneys do. Well, with cats, that AIM protein bonds way too strongly to these dead cells and basically creates debris in the kidneys. The kidneys get clogged. They can't do their job anymore. There's no way for us to fix it. And that's eventually what leads to the renal failure. So long story short, Dr. Miyazaki is working on a way to basically have that AIM protein function the way it does in humans, in cats, which would allow cleaner passage through the kidney. So I just thought this was a really cool science-based article. I think it's a great way to give us some positive intentions coming into 2025, knowing that there's really smart people, way smarter than me, working on how to extend our pets' lifespan, because I think that's something we could all rally behind.
Oh my gosh. That's what we all want.
Yes.
We all wish that they lived longer. So that's a great story. Mine is completely unscientific.
Great.
But
I think two science
story.
I think two science stories would just people would turn off the show.
Might be a little much, Yeah. And I have to say, I think I chose this story because it's about a dog who received a hero award right here in North Carolina, where I live, in a town called Gastonia, not too far from here. This is a bloodhound named Bo. And every year the American Humane Association does the annual Hero Dog Awards. And there's usually a category for, police working dogs, sight and hearing dogs, therapy dogs, etc. And Bo got the award for police dog. And listen to this. This is really cool. He started working at only 8 months of age for the police department there. He was chosen by his handler and his owner out of a litter of 8 puppies, and they started training him right away when they got him home. And this dog, in just 10 months on the force, has rescued, let's see, I just want to make sure I read this right. Okay, yeah, he's 18 months old. So he's only been working for 10 months, and he has rescued a 7-year-old child that was missing. He also rescued an autistic boy that was 11 years old, had gone missing. And he has also located several senior citizens who, there was a silver alert for them. They, had dementia and kind of got lost. So he's already accomplished several massive missing persons tracking missing persons in just 10 months. So he got the award, and his family says he's easily frightened at home by decorations, like Halloween decorations, Christmas decorations. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But he's great at finding missing people. So
that's amazing.
And you don't hear a lot about bloodhounds these days. They used to be really popular.
Yeah.
And,
I picture like the handler with like a Sherlock Holmes hat and magnifying glass with the bloodhound sniffing around. But wow, all that at 18 months. At 18 months, I'm pretty sure I wasn't potty trained. So congrats to this. That's amazing. Congrats to this dog.
Yeah. Good job.
Beyond the Leash, exploring the untold stories of pet passion and professionalism.
All right. Our first guest on this New Year's show is here to help us and our dogs find a sense of calm and balance as we enter the new year. Now, Amanda Ree is a canine wellness practitioner, a certified educator, and an ordained animal chaplain. How cool is that? She's also got a background that includes working alongside wellness icon Dr. Deepak Chopra, Amanda blends spirituality, meditation, and she's going to have to correct me if I don't pronounce this properly, but Ayurveda-inspired care to nurture the well-being of dogs and their humans. Amanda is also the founder of Sama Dog Wellbeing, where she uses natural healing techniques and mindful practices to create harmony in pets' lives. And today, lucky us, Amanda's going to lead us through energy work and a meditation session designed to bring peace and connection for both you and your furry friend. Welcome, Amanda.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Great to be here with both of you. Thank you.
Did I pronounce that word correctly or incorrectly? It's
close. There's a little trick that I teach people. It's Ayurveda. So it's like Ayurveda.
Ayurveda. Okay, great.
Now you
Thank
got
you for
it.
that.
I can handle that.
So Amanda, tell us about the moment when you realized you wanted to dedicate your life to the well-being of dogs and people.
Well, thank you for asking. Obviously, those of us that are in this realm of animal care, especially in the deep heart space, there's usually some story that got us there, something meaningful and rich. And certainly, my story, I suppose, began when our dog Prince, when I was 3 years old, I was in the backyard, slipped into the pool, and Prince saved my life. And so I think that, Mom came out and I was on the side of the pool already soaking wet, both of us. And I think that at a soul level was a bond that will forever be there. And, just was a connection for me as a child that held such weight. They were in some ways, and maybe some of our audience can relate to this, they were my family. They were my sisters and brothers. They were my parents in some regards. Look, they're saving my life. And they were the source of unconditional love. They were and still are a source of so much laughter and lightness and putting life in perspective. And so I think just growing up alongside them, just sunk into my heart and soul. And I just had such deep love. And that continued on for many, many years later in life, lots of dogs in my life. And I was working in rescue and fostering dogs along the way as I got older. And then I got into the yoga studies, yoga, meditation, Ayurveda. They say, in case anyone listening is not familiar with what Ayurveda is, it's like the third leg of the stool of the Indian tradition of mind-body wellness. And so yoga, meditation, Ayurveda, like the sister sciences, they call them. So I started out with the exploration of yoga, as many do, and then opened my world to the other traditions. And then I started working for Dr. Deepak Chopra a couple of years after my initial deep dive into all of this, recognizing and knowing I would spend my life in these teachings and sharing them. And then after about 10 years with Deepak, I eventually made my way into the role of vice president and was overseeing the center and overseeing all of our events and all of our speakers. And I'd learned and gained so much through all their education. And people started to ask, does any of this apply to my dog, or does my dog have a dosha, which might be a new word for people. It's the mind-body constitution. So they would say, when they're in that world, oh, does my dog have a dosha? And I said, well, yeah, everything in nature has a dosha. Everything has a mind-body constitution. And so we started to explore it. That got me exploring online to see if there was anything out there on the topic, and there really wasn't. And so I thought somebody needs to bring this beautiful mind-body science that applies to all aspects of nature into the lives of our beloved beings that are right here in our home, are so affected by our life and choices and lifestyle, and weave together, the deep heart practices and spiritual practices. So birthed Sama Dog, and that was now 8 years ago. We just had our anniversary.
Wow! Congratulations on the big anniversary.
Thank you.
So now let's talk about practice a little bit. So everybody listening, if you have a dog, you know that your dog knows when you're stressed out or anxious just by their behavior. I mean, it's tale as old as time. One of the biggest tropes of owning a dog is it somehow just knowing. But it can be a little difficult for us to understand animal stress and even what to do about it. I mean, for some people, it's difficult to know with like your partner or your family, how do I alleviate their stress? So can you walk us through a bit on how energy work or meditation can help not just alleviate stress, but strengthen that bond between animal and person?
It sure can. I think it's because we and we don't need to be an experienced meditator to know this, that when we tap into that quiet space within, and we're doing it all the time, all of us are doing it all the time, whether we're calling it meditation, whether we're sitting in a certain position, we have a cushion, we have a certain candle that we light, all the things that we do. That's one aspect of meditation. But also meditation is just when you're laying there in the morning, just ready to get up, and you're really feeling actually very centered and grounded and clear, and you're kind of just taking a moment to ground and to then come forth into your life, and just to kind of bask in that internal space for a moment before we become very external in all the doings. And so, there's that aspect of meditation that's in like our daily routines. And then there's all kinds of things that we do that are meditative, which are a long walk with your dog, or for many people, cooking or exercise, or some people doing their gardening. All of these practices can be very meditative. And so I just say that first so that we know that we're not talking about just like sitting in a lotus position. It's not just that. It's all the time, whether we consider ourselves a meditator or not. And that said, when we're in that space that all of us know is so deeply healing, nourishing, fulfilling, we don't even have words necessarily for why, but the real reason why is because we're going back home, right? We're touching back into that sacred space of spirit within us. So when we're doing that, our animals are very aware of it. Just like when they're aware we're stressed out and we're running around the house and we're banging our toe on something and now we're screaming and now we're late, we can't find our keys, and our dogs and cats and other fur friends will just sit there and watch us like, oh my. But that they actually are taking in some of that. It's fascinating actually to hear from clients and other people that I speak with about how much of their own mind, body reality, so their mental health, their physical health, is exactly the same as their dogs. So if they're nervous, their dog is nervous. If they're withdrawn, their dog is withdrawn. If they gain weight, their dog gains weight. If they get allergies, their dog gets allergies. You see it all the time, and it's really wild. And why is that, right? Why is that? And it's because of that deep connection, Chris, that you referred to, like that deep, loving bond that is unlike any other. Whether we celebrate it, recognize it, or not, we know of it. All of us know of it. And when we're in that place, we are able to connect with that place within them, because they, as a live being, have that sentience as well. And have that same, not to get into the details of spirituality and people's faith and things like that, but that same life force that animates us and gives us life, gives them life. And when we're connected in that place and we're plugged in, they're plugged in already. They recognize that in us and they are drawn to it. As we are healed from our stress, from our tension, from the overwhelm of life, they too are healed from the stress, tension, and overwhelm that they're picking up from us. So it's one of the greatest things that we can do for them is take care of ourselves. Almost in some cases with animals, almost more important than the way we take care of them, because they are so loyal and connected.
Yeah, I've never heard it explained that way. That was so beautifully put. And by the way, I could listen to you for hours. You've got such a beautiful voice.
Yeah, you need to start reading audiobooks.
It's a good thing, the meditation voice. You got to have the part.
So, Amanda, I wanted to ask you about one of your other roles. You are an animal chaplain, which is such a unique role. So what does being an animal chaplain entail, and how do you support people and pets?
Well, thank you for asking, because it is I wouldn't say it's a new career role out in the world. Chaplains are one of the oldest jobs in the world, actually. But animal chaplains, we were actually one of the first classes ever trained as specifically animal chaplains. Other chaplains that love animals certainly speak to that and support that. But from a formal standpoint, we're the first through Compassion Consortium, this wonderful church organization that trained us. And what animal chaplains do is, I think the most obvious is supporting end of life. So any of us that have had an animal to the end of their journey know how difficult that decision-making, knowing how to sort that out. What are even the different options? How do I handle the circumstances? And how do I handle myself after this being who has been with me for, everything from a few months to many, many years? How do I live without them? And it's something that a lot of us face. It's something that I think is less understood, or at least weighted, than the life and the loss of life of a human being. Yet studies show it, for most people that especially really, really love their pet and lose that pet, it's more impactful than the humans that they've lost in their life. So animal chaplains understand that, first of all, have a lot of resources, and we just have big elephant ears. We just listen. We listen, and I always get emotional when I talk about this end of life stuff. So pardon me. I can't help myself, because I think of all of the wonderful people that I've met with and all of the powerful bonds that have been made, and they're just, it's a great privilege to be in someone's life at the end and at such a sensitive space. So that's what we do. We support them through that, and then we support them after that. With my background in meditation and yoga and Ayurveda, I also really emphasize or try to bring additional attention to the fact that it's only the body that's left, but that's only one aspect of us. And we are very much connected to those other spaces.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, Amanda. And maybe to help out with some of the emotions that we're all feeling after talking about that, you've offered to use these last few minutes to guide us on a bit of a meditation here. So lucky listeners, if you're driving, focus on driving. Okay, if you're listening to us on the road, focus on driving. Skip this part, listen to it later. But those who may be at home, get yourself comfortable. And Amanda's going to give us the honor of guiding us through a few minutes of meditation.
Beautiful. Yes. And even if you are driving and unable to close your eyes, know that these teachings will permeate. They will soak right in regardless. So if you are able to close your eyes, please go ahead and do so if you're comfortable, or just have your eyes low. The idea is to minimize the distraction of the mind and sight. Allow your arms to relax down in your lap. Allow your legs to be heavy on the floor if they're maybe crossed or they're just both feet on the ground. And then, as always with our meditations, we want to start with deep belly breaths. So breathing in through the nose, bringing that breath down into the bottom of our lungs, fill the belly, and then slowly release it. And as you continue to breathe deeply like this, you might notice already a settling down, a stillness, a little taste of tranquility. Continue moving the breath through your nose only. Slow, deep, easy breaths. As you continue to breathe, allow your body to relax and settle. And drawing our attention now into our heart space. So just with your imagination, with your mind's eye, draw your awareness into the heart. This most powerful organ that, especially when it comes to the connection with others, with animals, our heart is the leader. The heart has so much capacity. The resonance of the heart is literally feet outside of our bodies and around. And so are animals. So right now you're able to merge your heart space, your energy field of the heart, of the Anahata chakra. That's the Sanskrit for each of the energy centers. This energy center of the heart, the Anahata, is so important. So you're allowing this energy to grow right now with green radiant light, allowing it to touch into the heart space of those around you, those beyond you. The love of the heart knows no boundaries. And for just a few more moments as we stay in our heart space, stay with a calm, easy, rested body. We can ask in our heart, what is it that I want? What do I want? This year, this new year, this page that's been turned. What is it that I deeply and truly want? And now just envision that. Feel it, taste it, touch it, see the manifestation of what it is that you deeply wish for. And know that you are sending this image, this message, this intention to your animal friends as well. They're so powerful. Far more powerful than we probably realize. And they want to serve and love us. So let them join with you in this intention, utilizing their power, your power, the beautiful bond that is between you both, unlike anything else. It's quite incredible, actually. It doesn't need words. The language is far beyond that, but we know it. Feel the unity of that heart space, of your loving intention. Feel the love that you come forward into a new year with your partner, with your friend, with your companion. Letting your love pour over them right now, no matter where they are. Send that message to them of gratitude. What angels they are in our lives. Together, let's take one deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. One more time like that. Deep breath in. Sigh it out. You can bring your hands together into your heart center if that's comfortable. If that feels natural for you. And after one more deep breath, you can very slowly open your eyes.
That was fabulous.
So I have to go back to work after this? I have to go back to work after this?
How's that going to be possible?
I think I'm going to go grocery shopping instead.
Yeah. You have you all blissed out as you move through the aisles.
That was so
Yes.
cleansing. That just felt wonderful. Thank you, Amanda.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So before we let you go, Amanda, where can people learn more, find you, and experience some of the unending bliss that Kristen and I just got to experience?
Oh, it's so sweet. Beautiful way to say it. Samadog.com, S-A-M-A, like Sam, Sama. Sama, by the way, means balance. Again, in Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the language of India and the base of yoga meditation. So Sanskrit, Sama means balance, equanimity, that ultimate mind, body, spirit, wholeness that we all yearn for and are in our natural sense. So samadog.com is where you can find a lot of resources. Also, our YouTube has tons of meditations. If it's meditation that you really liked, I have many on there that are just audio meditations that are just about 15 minutes, but all specifically to be practiced with your animals. So they bring out different aspects, attributes, beautiful connections that we make with them. And there's great resources there. You'll see on the website too, I do have a program called Intentional Pause, and that's like a 5 or 7 day meditation series. So that's like a whole little compilation. So yeah, tons more to know on there.
That's amazing.
That's a great resource to start the new year with.
Yeah, for
Thank
all
you,
of us,
Amanda.
why not bring our
Absolutely.
animals in?
Yes.
Why not be more mindful, present, grounded, centered, and bring our animals along for the ride? We're all going to just be better for it.
Why not relax?
So true.
Just relax.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yes,
It was a
you're
true
welcome.
gift, and Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New
Thank you.
Year.
Thank you. Thank you. Same to all of you and to all the listeners. Happy New Year, everyone. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, man.
That was fun. Wow.
Sheesh. Whew.
Are you going to go back to work?
I mean, I don't want to anymore. But I gotta.
That was wonderful.
Those Christmas presents, that credit card bill ain't gonna pay itself off. I'll tell you that much. But man.
Well, the good news is you can play it back over and over and over again when you need it.
Yes. And wow, I feel, like I said, I'm different now. I'm different.
Changed man.
Different
Chris is a
Chris.
changed
Radical
man.
self-care incoming. Get ready. 2025, Chris. Who knows? Maybe this is going to become a low energy podcast. Maybe I won't be as fun. Just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, right. No amount of meditation can change me.
Oh my God.
But that was very nice. And maybe a 15-minute break from high octane Chris is what's needed every now and again.
Everybody needs that once in a while.
Pets add life.
Okay, we are now welcoming someone with a heart full of compassion for animals and an extraordinary gift for helping them heal both physically and emotionally. Shelly Greenbaum is an animal Reiki practitioner and communicator with a deep sensitivity to the energy and needs of animals. For over a decade, Shelly has volunteered to help dogs, especially long-term shelter pit bulls, find love and happiness, proving to the world that every animal is beautiful and worthy. Through Reiki, she's found a way to bring peace, comfort, and healing to pets, even from afar through remote sessions. Today, Shelly will explain how Reiki can help pets feel balanced, calm, and healthy, and she'll share some powerful ways we can support our animals' questions. So, Shelly, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, that just made me sort of teary when you just said that.
That's fine. We could use an empath on today's show. So I want to start by just asking, for myself, my own edification, and those listening who may not be familiar with what Reiki is, can you give us, just a quick rundown on what it means and what the practice entails?
Yeah, it's divine love. It's just you get induced into the Reiki. I was induced into the Usui Reiki, but then I am so interested in animals that I started applying it and have followed other animal Reiki practices. So it's basically, that's what it is. It is divine love. You are able to bring through the energy of the Reiki. You do a prayer and you connect, you have full presence, you're having compassion for the animal, you connect with the animal, but that's what it is. It's basically divine love, and animals say it feels like liquid love.
Aw, that's beautiful. So, Shelly, you offer remote Reiki sessions,
Yes.
which I think is really amazing. So, can you tell us how does healing energy work from a distance as opposed to if you have the animal there in person with you?
I think it's all energy. Yeah, it's just all energy. And I'm just, aligning myself, aligning my heart with the animal's heart. And it's just, we're in a big sea of energy and that energy is love and it carries.
So, Shelly, I want to just, before we get into the actual Reiki, and we had Ron send you some pictures of Kristen and I's pets, but before we get into that, you've spent years of your life helping shelter dogs find, basically give them a second chance at life. So, what inspired you to focus on these dogs, pit bulls in particular, and what makes you so passionate about their cause?
Thanks. I think I've always been an animal rights person ever since I was really little. And I was actually having lunch with someone who started Actors and Others for Animals. And we were, another person came in and she said, "Oh, have you heard about Cookie? Poor Cookie." And I was like, "Who's Cookie?" "Well, she's been in the shelter for like 2 years." So I'm like, I'm going to get her out. So that was my first start. And then after that, a woman called me and she said, because I put some posters up for Cookie, she said, my dogs pulled me over to the poster, and I want to give you $3,000 to help Cookie. And she basically taught me how to help rehabilitate shelter dogs. And so, and over the course, I'm really interested in spiritual things. And so she turned me on to some different meditations and things, Infinite Spirit opened the way for this animal's right home. I give thanks it manifests now under grace in a perfect way. And so I started doing the meditation, and then I would help the dogs get trained, get their canine good citizen certificate, get them advertised, and help them find really good homes. So that's that. I mean, nothing feels better to me than helping an animal. Yeah. And so for one of the dogs, I remember we had a yoga event for Courage to help Courage find a wonderful home. And then there's another dog, Kylie. She did not do well at the shelter, and so I was able to find her a wonderful place at Shadows Fund. And she didn't get along with other dogs, so they created her own special place and her own people. And it was really amazing. I went for 6 years, every other week. I did her laundry, and I just to help her have a really good life. And she passed away, but she's on my healing team now. And when I drive up a certain hill, I can always feel her right there with me. She's like, "Hi, Mom. Yeah, you saved me, and I'm here, and I'm going to help you." And I can feel her licking my face, like in spirit.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But
So, Shelley,
you asked me about the show, why the pit bulls, because they're really super sweet. I mean, I think that's how they've gotten into trouble, because they're just so sweet and they will do whatever you want. So, we want to be feeding them positive energy. And anyway, that was why.
now I believe Ron had sent you photos of Chris's cat Tiger and of my dog Tulip, and just wanted to hear your thoughts on what you were feeling when you were seeing those pictures, and any help that you can offer Tiger and Tulip.
You know what? I mean, I could do like a little Reiki session with them. I'm happy. It's not like immediate, but I'm happy to do that if you'd like.
Let's do it. Absolutely.
Please.
Okay. Can I just read you what somebody of a dog I've recently been working with said? Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
She said, just so you get a feel for how it works. Okay. She said, I started working with Shelley in August of 2024 when my rescue dog Lulu was very sick. Lulu's about 13 years old, has Cushing's disease, and had high kidney and liver values as well as a heart murmur. She lost weight rapidly and was becoming a picky eater for the first time in her life. She was also having trouble walking, and we were afraid we would lose her. Shelley started to work with Lulu by sending Reiki energy and by doing some animal communication work. Not only did we have weekly sessions, but Shelley told me she was carrying a photo of Lulu with her. I carry it right in my heart, and sending her Reiki throughout the week. We started to notice changes rather quickly. Lulu's walking improved, and after a month, she started to eat a lot more. She's now gained weight and is able to move around for much longer periods of time. Her acupuncture vet says is asymptomatic for Cushing's. Lulu no longer has a heart murmur, and her kidney values are not as high as they were 3 months ago. We are still working on liver values, but after all of her improvement, I believe there will resolve in time as well. She's been showing her sassy beagle behavior once again. We've been working hard with a team of doctors and specialists to help Lulu regain her health, and Shelley's work has been an integral part of her recovery. I am a Reiki practitioner myself, but this has been the most amazing demonstration of the power of Reiki that I've ever seen. I'm eternally grateful to Shelley in giving Lulu a better quality of life.
Wow.
What an
That's
incredible
amazing.
story.
So I'm happy to tune in, but just to say, it takes a little time. But
Sure.
Hang on a second. I'm going to do a little Reiki prayer.
Okay.
So, Infinite Spirit, open the way. I'll take one pet at a time.
Sure.
Or you want me to do? Yeah, one. Okay. I'll do Tiger first. So I'm calling in that I would be a channel for Reiki, and that Reiki only does good, and that Reiki is only love, and that anything less than love, it does not, it leaves. Okay. So I can feel Tiger right now. I'm feeling him in a really expansive state. So the energy of the Reiki, of the love. Sometimes the dogs, like I've noticed dogs sometimes will start licking, just licking everything. They feel the energy. I just got from Tiger, what is this? And then it got an ah. I'm also seeing like little stars all around him. So basically, I'm tuning into, I'm just being present and just being quiet and being present and just tuning into to his heart. And so when you go home, you can, I see, I always call for a bridge of love and light between my heart and the animal's heart. And then you can actually see the love just flowing back and forth. Can I do a little bit for Tulip?
Yes, please.
And at some point, I'm happy, if you would like me to do a full session, I am so happy to do that. I know we have a limited time today, so. And I'm calling for the soul body of Tulip to stand forth in the light. I'm calling for a bridge of love and light between our two souls at the heart level. I almost see like a Superman, kind of like opening the chest here with a giant heart. I'm sort of seeing her dancing around too.
She's a prancer.
Yeah. No, I got it. Yeah. And she just said, this would be good. Yeah. Tell my mom. Yeah. To show my mom. Yeah. On her back. I'm seeing her sort of on her back. Also, sometimes I'll take the animals to the quantum field where everything is totally healed. I mean, if the animal has a health issue, everything is totally healed. And we'll work with them in the quantum field.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
I was going to add something else. So
Yeah.
I give thanks for the energy that's been coming through. Thank you. Hope that was enough. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
No, you're absolutely wonderful. And Shelley, I do want to ask, because I think before somebody can ask for help or ask, about Reiki, they need to understand sometimes that there's an issue, and our animals are not people. The way they express stress, pain, imbalance, it's going to be different from us. So in your experience, what are some of the signs that Reiki could be helpful? How can we as people identify when our animal is feeling off kilter a bit?
I'd say if you see any change in their behavior, or if there's some stress, maybe they're not eating, maybe they're. I'm thinking like a lot of shelter dogs recently. They're so stressed, and I've had, sometimes they'll have a bite issue, and then the animal gets in trouble, and then so. But I know that with the calming energy, that would be a total key for them. So maybe, and I was also thinking, I want to add one other thing about thought pictures, because my dog will often send me thought pictures. And so I think Ron had said, other things that people can do, really receive those thought pictures and, focus on what you want, focus on the end product. Don't focus on, I don't like when you do this. Focus on, this is what I want, because that's how you attract the energy, right? Of getting what you want. But I think those thought pictures are something that, pet owners, is something that they could really do. I was also going to add one more thing. You remember the study, the Japanese scientist, Dr. Emoto, the study of water, the hidden messages in water. I was thinking, they have kids send love to one container of water and send hate to another container of water. And then he analyzed the crystals, and he saw that the energy of love that was sent to the water had beautiful crystals, and the energy of hate had really malformed. And I was just thinking, even when people, put water in the cup for, put water in for the animals, just think about that, the love, think about the crystals, think about, that your thoughts become things.
Sure.
And that, anyway. I don't know if
Those are
that's
things
helpful, but
and those are things that any pet parent can do.
And I think too, for those out there who are listening who may not be as spiritual, I think Tiger is an ultimate testament to how things like this work, because when Tiger came into our home, and Shelly, you don't know this, Tiger's now 20 years old. They came into our home when they were 18 and had was always around other pets, always kind of in, mini competitions for food and stuff like that. And they're grouchy. And in fact, 2 Thanksgivings ago bit me to the point where I ended up in urgent care. But through just actually connecting with this animal and coming to an understanding, now Tiger will sometimes lay on my chest and put her forehead right up against mine. And my sister-in-law comes over and says, that's a completely different cat now, because acts completely differently. So I think, maybe you're not out there using the word Reiki to describe it, but I think every pet parent has felt that unconditional love.
that
Absolutely.
power of love. Yes.
That's so true.
Yes.
And Shelly, I have a favor to ask of you. This is our New Year's Eve show, or we're all about starting the new year fresh and healthy, and I know that if you're listening to the show when we record it, I'm sorry, when it's dropped on New Year's Eve, you might also be concerned about your pets this evening for the firework noises and things like that. So I was wondering if you can maybe send some energy to all of our listeners' pets this New Year's Eve to help them enter into the new year in a healthy,
Absolutely.
beautiful way.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
I'd be more than happy to do that. May I do a little prayer here? Okay.
Yes.
I just say, may all beings be safe, healthy, happy, and live their lives in ease. And may the minds and hearts of all beings be filled with love, appreciation, and kindness. That's
Thank
my
you
prayer
for
for
that,
the
Shelley.
world.
Beautiful.
That's Shelly, if for our listeners out there who may be interested in learning more, before we let you go here, where can they find either more information on Reiki or more information on your style of Reiki? Do you have any websites they could visit or other resources in case they want to learn some more?
They could go to my website.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's that?
What's
Okay.
the website? We'll put it in the
Okay.
show notes too.
Okay, so Shelley Greenbaum, animal Reiki practitioner. And I had found some ebooks. There was like 30 free ebooks, and I sent it to Ron. I thought maybe some of your
that's
listeners might like that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to include that in the show notes as well. But Shelly, this has been an
Yes.
incredible experience. I feel different now. We've had a long recording day. I think Ron and Kristen will definitely say, when I walked in this morning, I was not looking happy. I was having a rough morning, and you've definitely helped turn that around today. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Shelly.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Happy New Year.
Happy
And if
New
you
Year.
would ever like me to work, I'm more than happy. If you send me something, I'm more than happy to work with your pets.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
So it's funny, in our little post-interview chat that we always have with our guests, Shelly was able to sense how stressed I was, which, I don't think it takes an empath to realize that. But she taught me this really cool technique to help plow through some of that stress, where you breathe deep breaths in through your nose and then out, kind of, as she said, straw breath, like you're breathing through a straw. And you do that a few times, and it helps sort of reset you and get into a healthier space. So I thought that was something cool I could share with everybody before we move on.
Did you try it?
I did. It was very relaxing. I felt my heart rate go down, which, listen, there's stress on the horizon. This may be the year of radical self-care, but that's an internal thing. There's all the external stuff is still going to happen. So having some tools is always great. All right. So here's how it works. In through the nose. We're going to do it together. In through the nose. And then out like a straw.
I have a straw.
Just like that.
I do
already feel it in the brain, in the old thinker up here. So
hey, and you know what? When I actually used my straw, it makes the exhale last a lot longer.
yeah, it takes me a while. I've got
key.
big old ex-runner lungs, so to expel all the air. I was breathing out for a while, but hey, I'll take any help I can get these days.
The product of the week.
All right, Chris, my product of the week is, it's the new year and we're thinking about being healthy next year. So why not, when you're treating your pets, choose a functional treat? This is actually one of the trends that I've seen a lot when I've been researching like what's going to be hot in 2025 for pets, and functional treats comes up time and time again. And if you're wondering what a functional treat is, it's really just a treat that has an additional benefit besides just being a treat. So, for example, they can have probiotics in them, omega-3s, glucosamine, turmeric, etc. And I thought I'd share one in particular. It's by a company called Smart Cookie, and they offer functional dog treats. They've got one that's for skin and coat health, and then one for hip and joint health. So if you're going to be treating your dog anyway, you might as well combine a supplement with the treats. Two for one.
That sounds great. And I've actually got some advice for supplement folks. There's an association called NASC, the National Animal Supplement Council. And you could look on products for their seal of approval. They do quality checks and things like that. So if you want to make sure that what you're giving your dog, I think they approve products for dog, cat, and equestrian horses. So if you want to do a quick check on what you are giving your animal, check out their website. They list out all the members, and you could look at their process and things like that. They're very open about what they're trying to accomplish. But yeah, sometimes flavor and function married as one is great for a treat.
Absolutely.
And
what's your product?
My product of the week, the first one of 2025. We get all these questions, Kristen, and we don't get to answer all of them, which is a real shame, right? It's a real shame. And one thing I see about is comfort in dogs, particularly the ears getting inflamed, and how could I, part of it is maintenance, right? And making sure that the dog's ears remain clean. So I found these wipes from Pet MD that are all natural, aloe vera and eucalyptus. And if your dog doesn't take particularly good care of their own ears, or if you've got dogs, especially with upright ears that stay open, kind of like a cat's ear, some of these, especially French bulldogs are known to get these ear infections. Taking some of these wipes once a week to just keep their ears clean will go a really long way and prevent infection, which is when your dog is going to get very uncomfortable. And in 2025, radical self-care. Unfortunately, dogs can't always take care of themselves, so they rely on us. So Pet MD has a great line of products to help you take care of your animal this new year.
Q&As.
All right, it's time for, well, I guess it's not 2025 quite yet, but it's our New Year's special. So we're going to have some New Year's special questions, including, yet again, another voice memo from a brave listener. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, how do I get my burning questions answered by Chris and Kristen? Well, it's simple, folks. You go on over to petsadlife.org/podcast. You can fill out the form. Or if you're feeling as brave as, I believe it's from Ava in Denver, you could record a voice memo. We may play it back on the show, and you'll hear your voice played on the PAL podcast. That basically makes you part of the show. And hey, while you're on that PAL website, check out our other resources. We do a lot of great work over there. So click around and see what you can find. But I believe, without further ado, we've got our first voice memo, and I'm going to let Kristen answer this one because, yet again, Chris is dumb and full of lead. So we're gonna after that meditation, it activated the heart chakra, but the brain chakra needs some caffeine. So we're gonna go ahead and play this question. Ava from Denver. Let's hear it, Ron.
Hi, Kristen. Hi, Chris. I have a question for you. My dog Leo is terrified of fireworks, and with New Year's Eve just around the corner, I'm already dreading it. So I don't know what to do. He shakes and he hides and he won't come down all night, and I'm kind of lost. So Is there anything I can do to make him feel safer and less anxious during all this noise? Please save my New Year's, Chris and Kristen.
Oh, Ava, thank you so much for the question, and I'm so sorry that Leo is stressed by fireworks. I'm happy to take this question because I've had 2 dogs now that have had severe noise anxiety, including fear of fireworks, fear of thunderstorms, and things like that. And since I'm answering this question on New Year's Eve, I can't give the first bit of advice that I would give you, and that would be to talk to your veterinarian, because this, first of all, it's very common. Leo is not an oddball. About 40% of dogs do have some level of noise phobia. And normally, if you had more time, I would say go see the vet. Actually, go see the vet anyway after New Year's, because there is help. I used to use this great product called Cilio for my dog Chili, that is like an oral mucosal gel that you put in between their cheek and gum. It absorbs, and in about 20 minutes it takes effect, and they're just very calm, very zen, not goofy or loopy or knocked out, but just relaxed. So I think you could get help for Leo after the holidays for the next noisy event. But in the meantime, I would say, Ava, don't leave Leo home alone during the fireworks. If you can stay with him, put DOGTV on. That's a great way to drown out the noise of the fireworks celebrations outside, and to distract him with some enriching content. Just keep him involved in the family activities. Before it gets dark, take him for a nice long walk so he's got exercise. And if you do have to leave the home, make sure somebody stays with him, or take him with you. Buck was one of my, he was my yellow lab that was terrified of fireworks. And one New Year's Eve, we had terrible firework noises in our neighborhood. So one New Year's Eve, my husband and I put Buck in the truck, and we just drove around for, 3 or 4 hours until it was like midnight. And then, we drove home and the fireworks were over. But you don't have to go to those extremes. So yeah, definitely talk to your vet after the holiday, Ava. But in the meantime, put on some DOGTV or some great music and help him get through it.
That's some great advice. Buck in the truck. I want the children's story. I want the children's book about Buck in the truck. Get on it. Ron, add that to your list of projects for 2025. Children's book, Buck in the truck. I've got nothing else to add. So I think you did a great job there, Kristen.
Well, I hope your brain chakra is awake again, because I have a question for you from Jasmine in San Diego. Okay, so she says, "Hey guys, I'm thinking of adopting 2 cats at the same time." Good for you. Like a bonded pair. But my friend says I should start with just one so that I don't get overwhelmed. Is adopting 2 cats at once a good idea, or am I just asking for chaos?
That's a great question. And first of all, tell your friend to shove it. Adopting 2 cats at the same time is absolutely the way to go. So there's quite a few reasons. Cats don't enjoy us as much as dogs. Like, for a dog, you will be enough as far as engagement goes. Cats, they're like, yeah, that thing feeds me, keeps me clean, it, picks up my poop. That's great. But they can truly play and entertain one another. And we've had many guests on the show talk about how understimulated and depressed cats are, typically because they're left alone into their own devices. And what I will also say is 2 cats is not that big of a step up in responsibility. When you get to 3, that's when you sort of need to bring in the second litter box. The feeding time becomes a nightmare and all that kind of stuff. But 2, as a bonded pair, they'll typically be able to eat near each other without issue. They won't have an issue using the same litter box if you get a larger one. They're going to keep each other stimulated. And guess what? They're going to be best friends. They're going to be super cute. You're going to get all sorts of great pictures for the Instagram. And listen, when I'm ready for another pet post-Tiger, I already talked to my wife about this. We're getting 2 cats. We're going to get 2 cats that were siblings from a rescue somewhere when the time is right and they call to us. It's just all. And so if I think that's the right idea, and you're asking me the question, then that's my answer. Is I truly stand by that and believe it. I have a friend out there who had recently adopted 2 cats, and he thinks it's great. They help each other more than they hinder each other by a lot. So just keep that in mind. And listen, you're signing yourself up for a lot of responsibility regardless by getting a pet. And a cat, one cat is honestly, it's just as much chaos, especially as a kitten. They're going to find ways to entertain themselves that's going to involve your furniture. Is what I'll say. So with 2, there's a chance that they just sort of play around, and yeah, I that's the way I would go.
Yeah, and thanks for adopting, Jasmine. That's 2 more kitties that we can add to Home for the Holidays.
So that's 410,002. Thank you for the question, Jasmine. And unfortunately, that's a wrap on Pets Add Life, the podcast 2024.
That's right. Thanks so much for being here and for listening and laughing with us. And hopefully you've been watching us also on YouTube or social media. And we look forward to seeing you next year.
Absolutely. And 2025 is going to have all sorts of new surprises. So whether you are a new listener and this is your first taste, or you've been there since day one, 2025 is going to have all sorts of surprises. So be on the lookout for some cool announcements, some awesome content. But as always, amazing guests, great products, the amazing and astounding Kristen Levine, the average and just sort of there, Chris Bonifati. We'll be here. We'll be here every single Tuesday. We're not going anywhere. Thank you so much for all of your support. Be sure to follow us on all the socials so you know what cool changes are coming. And until we hear from you, have a happy, safe new year. We'll see you next year.
No, it's Happy Mew Year. Meow.
Pets Add Life.